The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 205 with Scrollkeeper. Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. That's Anthony just heard was Path to Glory by Scrollkeeper, who I've got on the show with me right now. They've got a new EP out called Path to Glory, which was released earlier this fall. Right now I'm being joined by Alex K to share some stories about the music and share more info about the band. So Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
Absolutely, great to have you on. Let's go listen back to that track, Path to Glory.
Path to Glory.
Coming back from Path to Glory. Now, that is just a wicked epic track, my good man. I'm curious, what's the story or inspiration behind Path to Glory?
Actually, it's a bit of a historical perspective. It's the battle between the Byzantine Emperor Nicephorus, who invaded Bulgaria, where I'm originally from, and the Bulgarian ruler of the time, Han Krum. And we're talking, I think it was somewhere around 809. And so way in the past. So basically, the title track, Path to Glory, it kind of follows the whole campaign at which, the Byzantine Emperor invades, razes the Bulgarian capital, at which time the Bulgarian ruler, who's far away from the north, gathers as many people as he can and basically entraps the retreating Byzantine army into a ravine and slaughters pretty much about 98% of the army, with very few people survived. And at that point, he decides, in order to scare off any rivals or any other tribes, he cuts off the emperor's head and creates a goblet, from which comes the heavy metal part of it, basically. So he keeps on drinking out of this goblet, or as you would say, skull cup, up as long as he's living, which is not too long. He dies from a brain aneurysm from injury about 4 or 5 years later, when he's actually in the process of invading Byzantium. And so that's pretty much how that campaign ends. The ruler dies, but the reason we came up with this is our singer is a historian, our bass player is also a historian, and, we were talking about heavy metal moments in history. And so I said, okay, guys, let me give you something from my background, since I'm originally from Bulgaria. And, that's how the whole process came. They were like, all right, that's pretty metal. We got to do a song about that. So we did, and the artwork kind of ties into that.
All right, let's go listen. Speaking of which, let's go listen to the next track, Surrender.
On your hands, be washed away.
Rock Metal Nation, it's John from the Rock Metal Podcast for a real quick break to let you know that Jay over at Metal Mayhem Radio is looking to help you get your band in rotation on his station. So go ahead and hit up Jay at studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. That is studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. Just go ahead and say that the Rock Metal Podcast sent you. He'll get you into rotation on Metal Mayhem Radio. Coming back from Surrender, I just dig the... So how could I put it? Just how the intro just flows so smoothly into the track. And I'm curious, what is the story or inspiration behind Surrender?
Oh, that one is one of the tracks I wrote, both lyrics and music. It's the original idea actually came out from this vampire movie I watched about these German vampires. Basically, they're a bunch of, I kind of took out the lesbianism out of the movie, but sorry, we got the little guy there. I didn't mean to. I hope it's okay.
He doesn't know that word yet.
Oh, okay. Let's see if he can repeat it 3 times, right? Anyway, that was a German movie. I think it was called We Are the Night, about 3 female vampires that were into each other. So they used to lure male victims and, feast on them. And they made sure they were opulent. So in other words, they also did well financially. So I kind of took that as the idea, but I decided to make it more into just like a vampire stalking the streets of Berlin instead of, making it gender specific. And I took out the lesbianism out of the, a scenario as well, which I thought it was a little too much. So basically that's the idea. It could be construed in other ways as well, but, that's the angle from where the inspiration comes.
Cool. All right, so for Rock Metal Nation who dug the 2 tracks, Path to Glory and Surrender, are super stoked to know that there is a full EP that is now out called Path to Glory. So Alex, if you wouldn't mind, when we pick up the rest of the EP, what should we expect?
We basically try to write traditional heavy metal, which in other words will be like a harking back to Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. And, we have some later period influences. I was actually big into the thrash metal scene. I was big into the Canadians, Voivod, Annihilator, of course. So, a bit of that influence seeps in, as well as the other guys. Our other guitar player, John, he was big into Yngwie Malmsteen. So some of that, comes out in our songwriting. Our drummer was pretty much into death metal. He played in death metal bands for a very long time. And so we do get an occasional blast beat here and there. And also it shows up on one of the other songs. But for the most part, mid-tempo to maybe speed metal. We try to do dual guitar harmonies as much as we can, intricate guitar work, and, just keep it real and try to stay original. We don't want to really lock ourselves in and say, okay, we sound like so-and-so and so-and-so. So in other words, we grab our influences, we wear them on our sleeve, but then we try to twist them around a little bit so it's still us and not somebody else.
Cool.
We don't try to copy anybody, per se.
Yeah. Next logical question on Rock Metal Nation's mind is, how can we find out more about you guys? Is there a place that we should go to on the web?
You can go to our official website, which is scrollkeeper.com. We also have a Bandcamp page, and our EP is actually right now, as of today, it went on Amazon, it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, and pretty much all the music platforms you can think of, it should be available. Amazon is selling it right now. We also have a Twitter page, which is Scrollkeeper TX. You can find us on Twitter. We're pretty active, and, like everybody else, we're on Facebook.
Cool.
As well.
Cool. All right. Well, Alex, if there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come onto the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing Scrollkeeper with Rock Metal Nation.
Well, thank you very much for having us, and thank you for your support.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hope they just found your new favorite band is Scrollkeeper. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.
Oh, so creepy being half a teach offense.